Did you know that some ordinary-looking dollars, in this video, we're diving deep into the top 3 most valuable bicentennial quarter dollars ever discovered, could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars, but certain rare minting errors, special strikes, and hidden details can turn them into treasures. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable U.S. coins ever made, the 1965 era Washington quarter dollar. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes these quarters so rare, how to spot the hidden errors that send collectors into a frenzy, and just how much money the rarest examples, 6 figures or more. So grab your magnifying glass, because this is one coin story you do not want to miss. The background. The year 1965 marked a massive turning point in U.S. coinage history. For decades, quarters have been made of 90% silver and 10% copper, solid, valuable metal that made these coins worth more than their face value when silver prices rose in the early 1960s. By 1964, silver prices had skyrocketed, and people began hoarding silver coins. Quarters, dimes, and half dollars disappeared from circulation overnight. The U.S. Mint faced a crisis. The most valuable errors and varieties. Double-struck errors. $1,500 to $2,000. Broad strike errors. $4,000 to $8,000. Missing clad layer errors. $1,000 to $2,500. Wrong planchet errors. $10,000 to $15,000. How to identify the rare 1965 silver quarter. Now, here's the part that every viewer wants to know: how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is the rare silver version? Here's your checklist. Check the weight. Regular copper-nickel quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Silver transitional errors weigh 6.25 grams. Use a precise digital scale, even a small difference matters. Look at the edge. Clad coins show a copper-colored stripe on the edge. Silver coins have a solid silver-colored edge, no copper line visible. Sound test. Drop your coin gently on a wooden surface. Silver coins make a clear, high-pitched ring, while clad coins produce a dull thud. Magnet test. Silver and copper-nickel are both non-magnetic, but this can help you rule out counterfeits. Professional grading. If your coin seems silver and matches the right weight, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication. These grading services can confirm whether it's a genuine transitional error. Auction highlights: real-life big money. Let's look at some real-world examples that prove just how valuable these 1965 era quarters can be. A 1965 quarter struck on a Silver Planchet graded MS62 by PCGS sold for $7,050. Another silver transitional error, near mint state, went for $9,300. A nearly flawless 1965 silver quarter in gem uncirculated condition sold privately for an estimated $25,000 to $30,000. Experts believe that if a perfectly preserved example were to surface, one with a clear strike, brilliant luster, and strong silver toning, it could easily top $100,000 or even reach $1 million valuation, especially if discovered with historical documentation. Final thoughts. So the next time you find a 1965 quarter, don't just spend it, take a closer look. Check its edge, weigh it, and listen to that ring. Because that plain-looking coin might just be one of the rarest U.S. quarters ever struck. We're uncovering the truth about the 1966 era Washington quarter dollar, how it came to be, what to look for, and why some of these coins have sold for life-changing amounts of money. Stick with me until the end, because one of these 1966 quarters could turn out to be a coin or possibly $1 million mistake hiding in plain sight. The background. To understand why the 1966 quarter is so special, we have to go back to the early 1960s, a time when America was changing fast. Back then, all U.S. quarters, including those from 1964 and earlier, were made of 90% silver. But by the mid-1960s, the price of silver had skyrocketed. People started hoarding silver coins, melting them down for profit, and draining circulation. The U.S. Mint faced a national shortage of coins vending machines. The most valuable errors and varieties. Double-struck errors. $500 to $3,000. Off-center strikes. $1,250 to $2,000. Broad strike errors. $4,000 to $8,000. Missing clad layer errors. $2,500 to $4,000. Double die errors. $1,500 to $2,000. How to identify the rare 1966 silver quarter. Now here's the fun part. Let's walk you through how to check if your 1966 quarter could be one of these rare and valuable errors. Weigh the coin. Regular copper-nickel quarters weigh 5.67 grams. A genuine silver transitional error will weigh 6.25 grams. Use a digital scale accurate to 2 decimal points. Inspect the edge. A clad quarter will show a copper stripe on its edge. A silver quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge, no copper line visible. Look closely for doubling or misalignment. Use a magnifying glass to inspect details like any doubling, missing design elements, or unusual thickness could indicate a valuable mint error. Check for off-center strikes or broad strikes. Look at the coin's border. If part of the rim is missing or the design seems shifted, congratulations, you may have an off-center or broad strike error. Get it professionally graded. If you believe you found something unusual, do not clean or polish the coin. Send it to a top-tier grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These services can authenticate, grade, and even certify the coin's error type, massively increasing its value. Real auction prices that shocked collectors. Collectors and dealers have spent decades chasing these elusive 1966 errors, and some of the sales are nothing short of jaw-dropping. 1966 silver transitional quarter sold for $7,050, Heritage Auctions, 2019. Off-center error, 50%, brought $1,250. Missing clad layer error fetched $3,000 at auction. Double Die Obverse realized over $1,200 in MS condition. Wrong planchet strike on dime planchet sold for $10,500. And these are just the publicly recorded sales. Experts believe that the right combination of errors, for example, a double-struck, Silver Planchet transitional 1966 quarter in gem condition, could easily command $100,000 or more. That's right. Some of the most ordinary-looking 1976 bicentennial quarter dollar, the ones with that double date, 1776 to 1976, have turned out to be minting mistakes so rare, that collectors around the world are paying unimaginable amounts to own them, from quarters struck in pure silver by accident, to double strikes, missing layers, and even experimental mint errors never meant to leave the mint. These coins are rewriting the rules of coin collecting. The background. In 1976, America was celebrating its 200th birthday, the bicentennial of the United States. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint did something it had never done before. It redesigned circulating coins to celebrate the nation's freedom and history. The U.S. Mint struck millions of these bicentennial quarters across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, including both circulation strikes and special silver collector editions. The most valuable errors and varieties. Double die errors. $5,000 to $10,000. Off-center strikes. $1,500 to $3,000. Missing clad layer errors. $2,000 to $4,000. Wrong planchet errors. $5,000 to $12,000. Broad strike strikes. $1,000 to $2,500. How to identify a valuable 1976 bicentennial quarter. So how do you know if your 1976 quarter is a rare treasure or just pocket change? Here's what to look for. Check the edge. A normal copper-nickel quarter shows a brownish copper line on the edge. A silver error will show a solid silver edge, with no visible copper core. Weigh it. Regular clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Silver errors weigh around 5.75 to 5.80 grams for 40% silver, or slightly more for 90% planchets. Use a magnifier. Look for doubling in letters and numbers. Check for off-center designs, cracks, or die breaks. Look at the mint mark. Coins without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. Coins with AD are from Denver. Coins with an S can be silver, especially proof or uncirculated collector versions. Never clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy value. If you think you found something special, store it safely and have it examined by PCGS or NGC for grading and authentication. Record-breaking auction sales. Over the years, several rare 1976 error bicentennial quarters have made headlines at major auctions. Here are some jaw-dropping examples. Silver transitional error no S mint mark sold for $13,500. Double-struck bicentennial quarter realized $6,400 in a heritage auction. Off-center error, 50%. Sold for $3,000 in mint state condition. Missing clad layer bicentennial quarter fetched $4,250. Wrong planchet strike on dime blank sold for over $10,000. And experts believe the story isn't over. A pristine, unique bicentennial quarter with multiple errors could easily reach $100,000 or more, and a historically documented prototype could break the $1 million mark. Final thoughts. So the next time you spot a bicentennial quarter, whether it's in your coin jar, your pocket change, or an old drawer, take a closer look.